Hey there, Capricorn. This is Joy with Joy of the World, here to take an intuitive peek into the energies going on around you. Friends and subscribers, welcome back. And if you're new to this channel, be sure you click that subscribe button, ring the bell, and they'll notify you anytime I post new videos. Also, if you find you like the content we provide here at Joy of the World, give us that big thumbs up, like and share with your friends and your family. Also, I'd love to have you leave your comments down below. It's interesting having this energy of yours flow through me and entertain me, but I'd also love to hear back from your side as to why it came about and why it was coming through. So anyways, regardless, it is my pleasure and joy to serve you and to bring joy to our world. That joy is not me. It is what flows through me and is here for us all to bring about our best life here now, to focus on our assets and our benefits so that we can taste and see that life is good. Life is for us, friend, and not against us. As we aim to dance and turn the wheel, because you're showing me, looky here. I love the Mary L deck. It is so Capricorn. But you are bringing in that abundance. You're turning the wheel and you're wanting to dance with it. You were so eager when I began to shuffle and move. You were like showing up. You're like, I am here. I'm ready to get going. I'm ready to find out what is going on. And then there was like I would say a stumble and a stop, but not really. Hang on, y'all. That black line is bugging me. Let me adjust this just a little bit. I live in a tiny place, so there aren't a lot of whole surfaces that I can get in front of, which is why I take you for rides on my magic school bus green couch. But hey, I enjoy every minute of it. And it's been so much fun being here. But so these showed up. Remember those decks I was telling you about that were coming in? I mixed them together and they have become the Moon Magic Medicine. And these two came on out and I thought, ooh, Cappy, what is going on? And instantly I started to hear the Fleetwood Mac song, The Chain. It says, if you don't love me now, you will never love me again. I can still hear it saying, you will never break the chain. Listen to the wind blow, watch the sun rise. And that's that thing, is you were like, because you were all hipping, happening, hopping in. You're like, I love this new life, this embracing that life isn't just about service, meaning servitude, meaning slavery, right? Meaning that you have to just put work out for others, but never taste the benefit of it. It is sad that that has become the full-mindedness of our world, to where, or the common generation that was going around, the vibration of the planet, which is the low murmurings of like all of our dust and debris humming together. And sometimes we've been laying down that floor and I'm like picking us up and getting us back where we belong. And so with that going on, it had gotten things down that low vibration of thinking that we have to serve and stay in that route, that relegation, that's what we're here for, is to have to learn and to grow and be tested. Well, that's coming from the pattern of how we grew up learning, right? School systems, things like that. Now, no big deal because we're Saturn, right? And so we thought, okay, I'll just get good at it and I'll do the best I can. Maybe I'll squeak out a little bit of time for myself. But now we found out that in being our sun, because the sun is the center of the solar system, when we begin to shine, when we begin to flourish, when we begin to be nourished and to live in our health and our well-being, it is like a fountain of life kicks on and it begins to nourish our planet. That's that greening up here. This is no longer a weeping willow. This is a strong, bold willow, head back, coming forward, like take some rest under my shade by the water, baby. That's what this willow is saying. And you're like, huh? Rest? Okay. By the water? I'm in for that. And I love it. You've adapted so quickly, Cappy, because that's what happens when we hear the truth. That's why this card is blue. You hear the truth, it begins to move our cells, move our particles, move our cosmic being. Because not only do we have physical DNA, we have a cosmic DNA. So enough about all that. Whoops, I have one hanging around from the previous. Okay. So got that taken care of. But here in the center, you're wanting to focus on you, which I love it. That's fantastic. So there's really just one central card, and it's looking like you're going to have a few other things branch off to get the crux of the matter. And remember, it was called the chain, and that's what made sense. This is the mystical dream tarot. Look at you there. 8 of Wands. You're drawing life to yourself, where life had tried to set you on fire. Not life like the loving life, meaning that generational thing, like people who put a pencil sharpener into an electric pencil sharpener and just working you down to a nub, but it couldn't contain you, it couldn't consume you, and your magic has risen up, and that has begun to like a weaver web. it's weaving life. It's bringing in all these threads, all these streams. Okay, I forget which sign talked about last week about tuning your streams, not your strings. And this is about you being in the eye of God, being in the center of your natal chart, and bringing in those strings and working on tuning them. Because the neat thing about playing the songs of life, if they were all tight and stretched out, we would just be contained and forced and played along like puppets, like the song Master of Puppets, right? Pulling my strings. But here, they're in this dynamic flow. They're there like ribbons connecting with you. And as you begin to move, they move with you. If any of you have seen Nigel, he does cyanetics and he plays music and the fire, and you watch how energy moves along with music. That is what is going on here. Check it out, by the way. Talk about mind blown. Exactly. But that's what you have going on here, is this divine dance. You're like, oh, it doesn't have to be pulled tight. You mean I don't have to? You're like, I have the freedom of expressing myself, that permission to move about and create. Use all this dynamic energy that I've built, all this resourcefulness and determination that I've built, and make something amazing from it, magnificent. Oh yeah. And that's when this amethyst, very much a heart healer, very much a high vibrational and low vibrational, the two exist in one space. It's like, I would say low vibrational material, in the fact the material, the substance of it is something that's very receptive, very at ease, very cozy, and cozy is low. It's very earthy, very down here, but then it has this exhilarating connection of uprising at the same time. So it's this juxtaposition, just like the sea goat, right? The depths and the heights all at once, that full connected energy. And you're like stacking them up like your pyramids. You're over there playing in the playroom, making up your orchestrations of your planet, of your cities, right? And that's the divine fire. Your hearth and your home are warm. And you've chosen, you're no longer like mulling it around your mind, because I'm seeing two of pentacles showing up here, but you're like, out of the two, I chose one. I chose me. And you're like getting rid of this old little, this was like a voodoo doll of yourself. If you couldn't say anything, you couldn't contribute, you were all bound up, face, hands, everything, and you're just, like after the mummy comes the zombie, right? Like, just having to go along and live in that death and that deathly pallor where life is all gray and grayed out and just about just consumption, okay? And now you're awakening this cosmic energy. I love that you open it up, getting a little expressive, showing us a shoulder that, oh, looky, hello. Okay, we must have known. You showing a little shoulder there, Capricorn. I love it. But being at ease, going with the flow, I absolutely love that. So, two cards when I was doing the cuts and the splits of the Mary L came out, and that's when you saw these. They were inverted. It was very interesting. So as I was going to move it, went, right there. Get it out. And it was like, okay, fine. Let's go. And these were the only two inverted. So you're talking about bringing this energy in. You were all about this. And that's why you were so excited and you were on point. And you were almost like, let's get to our reading, Joy. I'm ready to do some energy work. I'm ready to begin to create with you, because really, that's what we're doing here. We're co-creating. We're putting our minds together, because wherever two on earth agree, it's done. And I'm all about you stepping into your freedom, stepping into this divine cosmic song, and making our world beautiful and rich and restful and free. So I'm going to go ahead and turn them around that we can read them, because that was you showing me that you're bringing the energy in, and then we'll get a rune on them, okay? So the Wheel of Fortune. Ooh, your hips are odd and moving, baby. They like switch. Rocking that boat, breaking up that status quo, and you're like, hell yes. Breast be freed, male or female, that doesn't even matter. The breasts are about, that having everything you need right here, like the baby. You don't have to go to a store, you don't have to sterilize it, you don't have to go through all these processes. It's already being done as you're going about through your everyday life, and you're waiting to have this surprise to find out what life has cooked up for you. And this is very much the sacral chakra energy that you were that you had chosen here, and you're moving on down as you clear that out, right? And so this is you being in tune with your earth. Very garnet, very much garnet. That's why it is your stone. You're the one who's able to bring about the manifestations from the earth, bringing up the resources without, ugly words, without raping or pillaging. okay? Knowing how to have the balance, having the end part of the story of the giving tree of Shel Silverstein, where the awakening, the wisdom, you came in old. So you already knew that life has this beautiful balance that is giving, it's about giving back. But no longer is it that mindset. Remember those tight streams of have to, should, best, how we do it. No, it's literally like, get to have a little bit of flow going on here. We get to do what comes naturally, what feels naturally, so that we can have this own creative expression. That's what this wheel is about, right? It's like your own heartbeat, your own drum. What makes life beautiful to you? And I see it springing up over here. It's already springing forth life. And it's moving forth in the waters of the plasma into this new creation. Like your emotions, your feeling, your sensuality, your senses is evoking something forth from the depths. Ooh, and you're showing me not just of the earth, baby, but of the water, our whole planet. And she's like shivering, going, yes. Like you just like, I don't know, your kiss just puts chills up the spine of your lover. And they're like, because you do it just right. Okay, Cappy, enough of that. What are you doing? What are you doing? Oh, you're bringing in that divine love, that divine connection, the fully committed, the one who, like, the outcasts, okay? Because you're like, I have no problem with that. I'm not labeling people. I'm not doing anything. I'm ready to bring forth and help people harness their power. Ooh, so you're going to be a facilitator, huh? I like that, Cappy. That through the living of your life and this divine freedom that looks all just permissive and unctuous and luscious and all provided for, showing the freedom of life and the beauty of the dance, others are watching and they're learning from it. And they're taking hold of it and they're bringing it into their own, and it's going to begin to rise up into their hearts and into their minds. But it was here, it was those that were outcast, that they had been brandished by society and relegated to their own lot in life. Remember that slavery, that servitude that was forced, and this is what we're here for. This is what we do. And especially those who have been spiritually woke and spiritually minded, we're just doing the work. It's like life is like, can anybody come out and play? Can anybody come to the party? Can anybody go to the park? It was that type of energy. And they're beginning to take notice of you living in this freedom. Look at that. And they're wanting to learn from you. All eyes are on you, Capricorn. So I know I said a rune, so let me get that rune. All right. It gave itself. When I tried to move the deck, it spit on out. Look at that. It's kind of like open wide and take a drink. Remember, that's you. Open wide here. Be prepared. Satisfaction is coming. And your satisfaction, your being satisfied, remember, is that testimony. It is that truth. It is the throat chakra living in true integrity. And it's not that tight string. It is this creative being, this kinetic movement, this mesmerization, this allure, all that shiz dizzle. You know what I am saying. All right. So let's get a couple more cards on the other side. About that willow, about taking the rest under the water. That had to do with your truth here, okay? So let's get a little bit of opening on your divine soul song, on your eye of God, with the willow, with the rest. All right, Cappy, I see you. Oh, thank you. That was, ooh. You're like, this soul is on fire. Your pilot light ain't blowed out no more. You're like, no more. Thank you, Joy, for lighting it. And I'm telling you, somebody had to light mine, baby, and here we are. We are on fire, and look at you. You're like, ain't anything gonna blind me anymore. I know what I'm going. I've got made in the shade. You see that? That's like you taking respite under this willow, taking that refreshment. And that's about you taking time to relax throughout your day, regardless of how your work structure is, okay? There's always a way to recline for a moment, to recline the mind, or as Horace says, to unbend the mind on occasion. You're saying, please make it a regular occurrence. It's something that really helps get you out of that state of being, I could say being defensive against new ideas coming in, but really we could just say it as being receptive to the flow of your peace. Your Piece, meaning who you are in this world, right? And how you move and navigate, and giving permission for your soul song to come forward, and who you are in the other facets of life, not just with yourself, but in regards to others, the number 6, right? And the systems and those sort of things about how you live and navigate and move about in this modern world. But look at it. Look at that floral garden. Look at the abundance. And you're like, yeah, I've seen a lot of shit. And I say it takes a lot of a crap to fertilize the flowers. They need lots of food, especially these roses here, and especially the antique roses. But man, the fragrance when you get when they open up. So that's you as well, Cappy. Opening up to divine peace, being fully at peace with who you are, not just in and of yourself, but how you navigate, move about with others, how others see you or view you. You're like, it's of no issue. My reputation no longer exists anymore. But there's a little bit in her eye of like a little bit of hindrance. I'm trying to come up with a better word. A little bit of reservation going on. Because you're like, what if it comes out like this? And you're like, I don't care. And then it's like, she's like, but people are watching. I'm not quite sure. Can't we just calm it down, control it? And you're like, I'm not setting the whole world on fire. I am, but I'm not. I'm not burning it to a crisp. I'm like making it warm with the radiance, with the sunshine, with the permission. But the water's right here. You're like, the water's right here. The refreshment's right here. Don't worry. We'll keep it in check. And it's like, no, you won't. Because once it opens on up, it is up and it is on. And you're like, yeah, well, okay. You're right. You're right. So let's see. Do I want to get a rune? Or yeah, we're going to get a rune on that to help ease this little bit of fear. Just 2 little fears. You just have 2 little questions going on there. Because the interesting thing is, even though it's a page of wands, this page holds a sword and a wand. But this wand is more like a magic wand, like a baton. And it's waving the flag, but it's caught up against yourself, like blocking yourself here. All your beauty, trying to restrain it. Trying to restrain your beauty. That's not making sense. Okay, that totally does. So we need to know a little bit more because these came in like this, and isn't that interesting? Blocked. Okay? You're just a little bit blocked, a little bit, having some reservation about this energy of yours. You're like, to be on a pyre and not burn up, isn't that going to draw attention? That is no longer about resurrection. Like a Quetzalcoatl talks to me about the final phoenix, the final resurrection, like the bird that is the fire, right? So let's find about this blocked disarray, habits, repetition, haughtiness, and own enemy. So this is just a little bit of kind of like the groove in the record, a bit of the old patterns, the old ways being there, and you'll gently begin to fade is what I'm seeing here. But let's find out a little bit more. Dream, imagine, all is possible. So a key here is to begin to take that reflective time, remember, under the willow, to take points of respite along the way. Kind of like if your phone is working at high intensity, like when I download these videos onto YouTube, or upload them, however you want to say it, but it says downloading on there. It sucks my battery. My phone gets super hot. You have to take that time to recharge. So when you got this kind of energy, baby, you got to take time to recharge, to rest and recharge. Now, just like my phone, I don't have to go nap. I don't have to go sleep. Just sometimes I have to go horizontal for a few minutes. And that is when these revelations and these little clues and cues that I wasn't picking up on just begin to pop, pop, pop like popcorn. And that brings in a lot of this, okay? So it's important to be able to digest what all you're ingesting. So, but that imagination is key, being able to see what you're taking in up above you, what is coming in there. And it's showing me it's electric. Electric connection is key, except it's coming in like this. It's like your power cellars down the lower chakras. Like you're like, where there was once water, there is now fire. And that's making you a little bit nervous. But the thing is, you're quite stable. You're quite well able. Okay, Cap? So let's get, you are well able. You are well able. And I know you're all excited anyway, but just letting you know that that one little bit of reservation is under there, and it may be cropping up because trying to restrain this massive of an energy. But this tiger is really, you know, it has to do with mystery, the things that have been down in the deep, of taking hold of it and saying mine. That's really what's going on here, is all this ferocious, I was saying ferocity, all this ferocity coming into a human being creates this magic out of your hand, and that's only going to draw more attention. And that's a little bit of what she's concerned about here, is that attention, because you've been the one to not get the attention. All right, you've been the one who's been in that servitude, like, I'll go get the coffee, I'll go run the errand, I'll go do it, I'll go do it, I'll go do it. So we're seeing more as like a fixture rather than the head of the pack. So let's get this on Mary L. Angel of love. Return to yourself, being stable in yourself. So no worries, honey. It'll be your glory. These flowers won't just be abounding out. They're going to take you fully over and even be in your hair. You're going to be full on, full on, full on. Okay? Just remember your truth over here. Remember your truth. All that we learn, all that we see, and all that we know is this is your freedom. And this is what you've invited in. So, hey, we're going to keep her up here. Thank you for joining me. Bye, Cat.